Good morning. And if you're watching this video, you probably purchased our Machine-M200, so congratulations. This is a semi-automatic machine. Basically what that means is it uses power to make the attachment, but you have to hand load the products. So beginning with that, we're going to tell you a little bit about these 4 wrenches that come with the machine. The large wrench is for the compensator. It goes in here and you can tighten it until it gets pressure and feels like it's stopping, and then back off a half to a full turn. That's the way it's set. Now you should not have to mess with this because we preset it at our factory. But if you're having an erratic pinch setting, it's good to take this wrench out and just check to make sure, because if you can start turning this, your compensator wasn't set properly. We have this wrench here, which is to loosen this bolt. Anytime you're going to move the pinch setting, you want to loosen this bolt. This wrench here goes up in and you can feel it click into place. And this one here, literally righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. You can see my lower die holder moving down or moving up, whichever way I want to do it. Lastly, you have this wrench here, which is for your die set screw. You want to put your spindle die tool in the lower, and that's the one that guides the grommet and also holds the washer. The upper grommet tool, it has the holes for the slugs from the material that you cut into to exit. You can put it to the front and rear. I like it side to side. Make sure the die is all the way up in place and tighten the screw. Got this key for the control box in the back. You shouldn't have to go in here, but if you ever have to, for some reason the machine trips and it doesn't power back up, you can open the control box and make sure that the reset, you hit the reset on it, and you have your breaker. But like I said, you shouldn't have to fool with it. Okay. If you purchase the machine with dies, odds are that we've already set the machine up to make attachments. You may have to just tweak it depending on your material thickness, since we don't know that material thickness. So what I generally do when I'm setting a machine up is I'll slide the grommet on it, or I could even put the washer on or the spur washer and then the grommet, and I do a visual. I turn it on, I trip the machine. Now in this case, it's not doing anything because my pinch is not set properly. Remember, I moved this down. So what I do when I want to set my pinch properly, I pre-removed this cover. It's held on by 3 screws, 2 on each side and 1 on the top. I'll trip this machine right here. This is the trip dog. I'll trip that and then I'll roll this over. And as you can see, the plunger's coming down. I'll bring it all the way down to bottom dead center, which is right there, basically 6 o'clock position. Now you see the gap in between there, those 2 dies. That tells me I have to bring that lower die up. I've done this enough to where I know pretty much where it needs to be. But for you, you may leave a small gap there like that. Now you can turn the machine on for it to return home. And again, you can set the washer and the grommet on there and trip it just to test it. If you see, it didn't make an attachment, so it's not tight enough yet. And you can just keep doing that in small increments and tripping it until you feel it's where it needs to be. It's just now starting to catch. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've got it set properly now. You see, I can barely get my fingernail in there. So that's, I would say, set properly. Depending on the material, if it was thicker, I'd have to back up on that pinch a little bit. In this case, I'm going to set it right there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to tighten this screw. That screw's tight. Now my pinch will stay set. It won't back off on me with the vibration of the machine making attachments. I preset these guards. There's a micro switch. There's 3 micro switches under this cover. You have to come all the way down and make the bottom one in order for it to trip. I generally set it with my index finger, since that's about the size of a woman's, my pinky, since that's about the size of a woman's index finger. The machine shouldn't trip whenever I do that. When that comes down and hits my finger, it's not tripping because it's set properly. My finger's not there, it trips. So you want to make sure that you keep the guards in place. You don't want someone getting hurt. This machine will hurt you. First thing you do is set your material up there, cut the hole, lay your spur washer in, put the hole back over the spindle, and put your grommet on there. Now you've made your attachment, and it's a good looking attachment. Again, this is the slug that I'm talking about that spits out the side out of this hole. Now at this point, remember, you're putting your fingers under these dies. You notice my foot is lifted. It's resting down here, but it's lifted here. Anytime I put my fingers under here, even though the guard's set properly, I'm not going to take a chance by keeping pressure on that pedal. Set that over, and again, my finger's going under the die. Making good attachments. You'll get a rhythm going the more you use the machine. I recommend operator be taught this machine. It's not a good idea to just have different operators come and go because the person really needs to know the machine before they start using it. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem with someone getting hurt. So that concludes this video. I hope it helps you.